One Piece Manga Chapter 1128 titled RPG. In this chapter, we'll find out if the Straw Hat Pirates are truly on the real Elbaf. We also get to see their battle with two new giant beasts, and finally, we discover where Chopper is and meet a mysterious giant who claims to be the Sun God. So sit back, relax, and watch right to the end of the video, as all of that is revealed. One Piece took the front page of the Weekly Shonen Jump this week with a confident Luffy in a Pirate King's gear. The cover page of the chapter is a vibrant color spread featuring the Straw Hat Pirates in wizard outfits. Their crew shows off their magical broom skills as they fly alongside a giant dragon. Luffy leads the flight. He gripped his broom with one hand, eyes locked on their destination. The giant dragon watches him closely. Robin is also staring at Luffy from below. She looks so excited as she is showing off her new glasses. Sanji, on the other hand, is too busy admiring Robin. He fails to notice Usopp, who is crying for help. Usopp is hanging on to Sanji's broom for dear life, worried that he might fall from this height. All while Brook and Chopper are having a hard time. Tears stream down Chopper's eyes as he clings to Brooks' clothes. The two lost their balance. They are definitely not controlling the magical broom as well as the rest of the crew. Meanwhile, Frankie drives a super upgraded version of the broom, with Nami sitting in the front seat. At the same time, Jinbei is leaning back on the dragon's forehead. Zoro is also relaxing, sitting comfortably above the dragon's nose. This color spread is the final version of two combined reader requests: the Straw Hat crew having a barbecue with a dragon atop a volcano, and the Wizard Straw Hat crew flying with a black cat. The chapter begins where we left off in chapter 1127. Finally, the Straw Hat Pirates are on their way to leave the Big Steinn Castle. However, Sanji is wondering if this is all a dream. He's carrying Nami like a princess, and it feels too unreal to him. With all these guys around, he thinks there's no way this could be his dream. Nami gives him a suspicious look. She questions what kind of dream Sanji must have to think that way. Sanji then jumps off from the Big Steinn Castle. Nami screams as their foothold crumbles. Knowing this place is falling apart, she tells Sanji to be careful. As the two land, we catch a bigger glimpse of the kingdom. The landscape, structures, and houses are made entirely of Lego pieces. They all surround the giant Yggdrasil tree, which is standing in the middle. As the Straw Hats regroup, Zoro shares his story. He says that when he woke up on the other side of town, he heard a loud noise and followed it. That's when he saw Luffy defeating a giant rabbit. A look of confusion crossed Luffy's face. He was so sure that Usopp could have easily taken that huge cat down. Sweat darts around Usopp as he explains himself. He says he lost his cool because he woke up inside the cat's mouth. However, Usopp has already developed a theory. He proudly points at himself, urging the crew to listen. Usopp noticed that the threads on their clothes resembled the outfits of Elbaf giants. But Usopp finds it strange that they have clothes that fit people of their size. After all, they are talking about the island of giants. It doesn't make sense for them to own a wardrobe of small attires. Nami ponders as she touches the nearby Lego tree. Assuming this is the real Elbaf, could they have been gigantified? Nami quickly dismisses the idea, pointing out that the tree is clearly fake. Zoro thinks the town is full of residents. Hoping they can clear things up, he suggests they chat with them. With the kingdom so vast, they might get valuable information and acquire directions to the sea. On the final page of chapter 1127, Zoro tells Luffy to prioritize finding the sea and the Thousand Sunny. He stresses that ensuring the crew's safety must be their top priority. Luffy agrees to Zoro's plan. His voice rises in pitch as he urges the crew to head to the town. Unfortunately, Sanji proclaims that the others aren't in the kingdom. Usopp gasps in surprise, wondering how Sanji found that out. Sanji sniffs the air around, but even with this method, he still can't pick up Robin's scent. Nami can't help but wonder if Sanji might actually be a hound. Meanwhile, Usopp and Luffy are practically bouncing on the balls of their feet, eager to ask about their friends in the town. Finally, the two declare that it is time for adventure. Zoro struggles to comprehend why Luffy is so pumped up. After all, they don't know anything about this place yet. Nami feels uneasy too. Even though they're in a wide open space, she can't feel any wind. Sanji quickly assures Nami that he is here for her. There is no need to fear anymore. The scene shifts to the road near the town. As the Straw Hat Pirates look for residents, Zoro spots something coming. A jolt of surprise and disgust surges through Luffy, Sanji, Usopp, and Nami as the figure gets closer. Luffy smiles in amazement as he watches the sight. After all, what they just encountered was a giant grasshopper being ridden like a horse. The man riding it is dressed in Elbaf clothes. However, he is not a giant. The old man greets the Straw Hat Pirates. He immediately realizes that the group is a bunch of newcomers. Luffy then bombards him with questions. He asks the old man who he is, where they are, and if he knows where the rest of the crew is.
何勝手に喋ってんだよお前
Meanwhile, Nami and Sanji stay far away, keeping their distance from the bug. They have no intention of getting close to that thing. Now this reminds me of a scene from chapter 230. For anyone who might not know or remember, Sanji and Nami are both terrified of bugs and spiders. In that chapter, a tarantula dropped onto Nami and Sanji while they were searching for the South Bird with Usopp. The two instantly freaked out, backing away and hiding into the bushes. Their eyes were wide with fear as they admitted they couldn't handle spiders, moths, or centipedes. In contrast, Usopp was casually chilling and even playing with the spiders. The old man then apologizes. They have too many questions, but he's in a rush to stay and chat. Instead, he summarizes what they need to know. The man says that this land belongs to the sun god. Even the Big Steinn Castle he maintains is the domain of deities like the Great Iskat. Putting it simply, this is a land of gods. The crew are surprised to learn that someone lives in the castle. The old man clarifies that Iskat is a giant cat. Luffy starts to apologize for striking it down earlier, but Usopp immediately stops him before he says something he shouldn't. Nami can only look away, except for Luffy. Everyone is sweating cold buckets. Sanji, Nami, and Zoro can only whistle as they avoid eye contact. Usopp smiles as he desperately covers Luffy's mouth. Everyone listens as the old man bids goodbye. He feels worried that the Needle God must be starving by now. All those commotions earlier over the Ear God being burned had really delayed him from his task. If we once again go back to chapter 1127, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji admitted to grilling the Ear God and the Stinger Moles. Nami and Usopp also played a part in taking down Iskat and the Needle God, which was likely the giant hedgehog Nami encountered. Unaware of this, the old man gives the Straw Hats advice. If they are hungry, they should head to the town for some rations. However, his voice turned more serious as he left one final warning. The old man advises the crew not to follow a dangerous road. Beyond that point lies the Sun God's temple. Since ferocious guardians are protecting it, no one has ventured past the road and returned alive. Nami freaks out and begs the man to take his words back. Due to how he phrased it, she fears that her captain might do something reckless. And she's right. Luffy's eyes are already darting with excitement. Impatience twists his features as he fidgets. In the next moment, Luffy takes off at full speed. He races straight toward the Sun God's temple. The old man is shocked. He flinches while Nami, Usopp, and Sanji fail to stop their captain. The three extend their hand and yell at Luffy to wait, but it's no use. The tension rises as the crew hurries to chase after Luffy. Usopp quickly thanks the old man while Nami apologizes. She sticks out her tongue cutesily, winking as she says sorry. The old man could only make a confused noise as he watches them leave. Zoro smirked, his face taking on a sinister look as he thought about the ferocious guardians. But Sanji wasn't having it. An angry vein pops on his head as he complains to Zoro. For Sanji, it is problematic if Zoro supports Luffy's bad behavior. He just wanted Zoro to think things through for once. The scene shifts to the Big Steinn Castle. The old man is completely taken aback. The castle is in ruins, with debris scattered everywhere. He can't help but wonder what on earth happened here. The scene shifts back to the Straw Hat Pirates. A bright smile lights up Luffy's face as he runs toward the Sun God's temple. For him, this strange place is nothing but an adventure. Usopp and the others are still chasing after Luffy. They shout reminders of the old man's warning. But hearing about gods and fierce guardians only fuels Luffy's excitement. As they venture the road, the crew starts to realize how massive this place is. The road is extremely long and they can't see any buildings ahead. Finally, they spot another castle ahead, but something feels off. It looks exactly like the Big Steinn Castle. Luffy also notices something coming toward him. Looking at it closely, he learns that someone is running straight at him. The man also seems to wear an Elbaf outfit. Luffy refuses to stop. He decides to dodge whoever it is. In the next moment, Luffy slams into a huge mirror. The figure he noticed seconds ago turned out to be his reflection. The impact caused the giant mirror to crack. The damage spreads upward, destroying even the clouds. For the remaining Straw Hats, it looks like the sky is breaking. They unconsciously drop their jaws, struggling to comprehend what they are witnessing. With this collision, Luffy temporarily passes out. The scene shifts to the nearby town. Panic spreads as the residents see the sky cracking apart. They scream as they watch the sky. One look and they immediately know that it's coming from the Holy Temple. Having no idea what's going on, they could only conclude one thing. Everything is going to hell. The scene shifts back to the road toward the Holy Temple. The Straw Hats are finding it hard to believe their eyes. Words escape them as they try to understand what they are seeing. For Nami, this is truly unbelievable. In an epic double spread, the true nature of the Lego Kingdom is revealed. They're inside a huge cave covered with thick glass and mirrors. A small door with wire metal nets prevents anyone from escaping. From the inside, the Straw Hats could see the gigantic table and sewing machine. Large Lego blocks are also piled up and scattered around the floor. With this, Nami concludes that they are in a giant room. Zoro thinks they might still be inside Giant Warrior Pirate's ship, but Usopp dismisses it. He knows that this cabin is unlike what Broggy and Dory have. Sanji believes that a real giant owns this place. He couldn't help but wonder if this was some kind of a pet cage. A familiar voice then enters their ears. Somewhere on the table, someone is crying for help, hoping that his friends can hear him. The scene shifts to the giant table. It turns out that voice belongs to Chopper. He is sobbing uncontrollably, overjoyed to finally be back with the crew. Nami wraps her arms around him. She comforts him, saying that everything will be okay. Chopper felt relieved. He was forced to wear a steel collar, which he couldn't remove. He completely thought he was going to die. But Nami, in typical fashion, says that Chopper owes her for the hug. Usopp immediately objects, pointing out that Nami was scared earlier too. This is just too cold of her. Still, Usopp looks closer at the chainmail. Seeing some fine craftsmanship from the Sun God, he proclaims they must be very skilled. Zoro is also busy inspecting things on the table. He's holding Chopper's collar in one hand while eyeing a piece of metal armor. Meanwhile, Luffy reports the abundance of Lego blocks on the floor. Knowing that the whole country is made of them, Sanji finally learns why there was a horrible scent when they grilled the ear god. Surely it must have been all the plastic burning. Sanji then encourages the crew to look at the cage. Unlike when they were in the Lego Kingdom, the view from the outside is now never ending. They can see through everything happening inside. Sanji wonders what kind of magic mirror the Sun God is using. After all, from their side, it looks like normal glass. Then, in true Sanji fashion, he offers to clean the ladies' room on the ship later. He must have been planning to use the magic mirror for his own plans. Nami lets him off with a kick to the face. Meanwhile, Zoro realizes that this is the Sun God's sick hobby. They must have enjoyed watching animals and people trapped inside the Lego world. Usopp agrees that this is creepy. However, this finally confirms that they are on Elbaf. Judging from the room, there must be a real giant island out there. Luffy raises his hands immediately. Knowing they're on Elbaf makes him so happy. But Nami is still suspicious. How can Usopp be so sure when all they can say is that a giant is behind this? Chopper suggests for them to escape. He doesn't know where the others are, but it'd be bad if the giants caught them. Usopp, on the other hand, proposes a plan to head back and gather more information from the townspeople. He knows they are weird, but it's better than a risky confrontation. But just when he wonders if Luffy is listening, Usopp is shocked to see Luffy fighting a large snake. He plans to defeat this monster before thinking about what to do next. Usopp and Nami's eyes left their sockets as they cheered for Luffy. They encourage him to just go for it. Nami notices a group of giant rats lurking under the table. Sanji also warns the crew of a huge crow flying above. Now, the Straw Hats are surrounded. It took them a moment to realize that these monsters are the ferocious temple guardians. After all, they're not even in a temple. Luffy also doesn't want to turn them into meat. He's still full from the rabbit, so he's just gonna send them flying. The scene shifts to the hallway outside the room. The sound of screams and footsteps fills the air. A giant figure appears, dressed in a black tunic, holding a staff and shield marked with a sun symbol. This is the Sun God, their face hidden behind a skull mask. The sun god remains silent as they stop outside the door. They can hear the Straw Hats hurrying to finish the temple guardians before they get caught. Just as the sun god is about to open the door, smoke starts pouring out. Someone from the crew complains to Luffy, saying things have gone too far. Luffy defends himself. He says he's not the one who busted the fireplace and let the flames spread. Now, the sun god felt the urge to hurry. They slammed the door open, leading him to see the mayhem. Luffy, in Gear 5, is laughing uncontrollably. Flames cover the battlefield as the Straw Hats battle the temple guardians. Seeing them destroying the table, the sun god snaps. They refuse to let their beloved temple be razed to the ground. The air feels thick as Usopp spots the giant entering. He quickly informs Luffy and tells them they need to escape. The sun god's rage spikes when they hear the cry of their beloved crow, Mugen, being cut down by Zoro's blade. They scream its name in grief.
Gomu gomu no!
In the next moment, Luffy also finishes the giant snake off with a gum booming dawn pistol. The sun god could do nothing except call the snake by its name, Halmagunder. We've repeatedly seen how Oda Sensei takes inspiration from different cultures and backgrounds, and this is no exception. Mugen is a combination of two names, Hugin and Munin. In Norse mythology, Hugin and Munin are a duo of ravens that deliver messages to the god Odin. Meanwhile, Halmagunder's name is derived from Jormungandr, a large sea serpent in Norse mythology. Now that the temple guardians have been knocked out, the Straw Hats enter the cage. Chopper changes his form as they prepare for their escape. Meanwhile, Zoro notices something. He saw the injured Iscat glaring, which ignited him with a bright idea. Iscat growls in anger, threatening the pirates. In the next moment, a loud bang echoes. The Straw Hats quickly make Iscat submit, allowing them to ride on its back. Iscat is clearly crying. Chopper translates Iscat's words to, "You'll pay for this," but Nami doesn't care. For those of you who might have forgotten, Chopper can talk to both animals and humans thanks to his devil fruit, the Hito Hito no Mi. Nami then tells everyone to look at what she found. She couldn't find any proper loot, but she luckily acquired the blueprint for the block country. With this, they finally have the map. In an epic final double spread, the Straw Hats and Iscat run away from the furious sun god. The sun god draws their weapon, prepared to take them down. They won't ever forgive them for defiling their beloved country. Analyzing the map, the Straw Hats lock in their plan. They must go straight and break through the mirror and walls to escape this place. Meanwhile, the townspeople watch in awe and fear. They all look above, overwhelmed by the sight before them. After all, they know that the sun god is barely containing their rage. The camera zooms in on the sun god's face. Fury is burned in their eyes as they swear to never let the Straw Hats escape. And the chapter ends. Who do you think the giant people call the sun god really is? And if this is the real Elbaf, then how do you suppose Luffy and the crew ended up being in this place? Also, where do you think the Thousand Sunny might be during all of this? Could it be hidden somewhere in the giant's room? There's so much to talk about and discuss, so let's continue this in the comment section down below. As always, press like if you enjoyed the video, and if you don't want to miss out on future One Piece chapters like this one, definitely subscribe and hit that bell icon. There won't be a break next week, so I'll see you next week. Till then, thank you for watching the video, and have a great day, Nakama.